Hey everyone! Welcome back to Riding the Spectrum. In this video, we're going to talk about how we listen to music in the Polaris RZR. And the method I'm going to be using is Bluetooth audio. Because with the Ride Command system, Bluetooth connects instantly. Just like in my mom's car, my dad's truck, and my grandparents' cars, they connect instantly with Bluetooth, which really goes to show how convenient and easy it is to use Bluetooth over USB. Bluetooth is just an amazing feature to have, especially with modern smartphones going wild. It's going wild with integration with music streaming services and any other audio. I can connect and it's ready to go. Let's say my cousin Briella is riding the side by side. She wants to bring her tablet, if she gets a tablet, if she wants to get a tablet, to watch content, connect her device to Bluetooth. So it's easy transferable to different devices. My phone, a tablet, a computer, anything I want to connect to Bluetooth. It's easy transferable, just adding a phone, pairing a device, and we're good to go. And USB is versatile too, but it's dependable on a device, on a certain device. Where USB, it takes forever to load, and you get limitations with only artists, albums, and songs. I don't think there's any playlists loaded up on the USB. If it was, I would use USB 100% because it's easy to get to the playlists. Where Bluetooth, I pretty much have to connect wirelessly, which is good. It saves me a whole lot of time from plugging in a USB cord and connect everything to USB. But Bluetooth, it's almost instant. And I'm ready to go in less than a minute or two. As soon as I'm out of the garage, I'm ready to play music. And that is how easy it is to listen to music through Bluetooth. Even when I'm switching to an internet radio station, USB is having trouble with that. Where Bluetooth, it'll play instant. It plays instantly. Let's say for my cousin, I want to play Disney Resorts Radio. When I get her booster seat for Christmas this year. We put it in the RZR. We want to put on Disney Resorts Radio, and that's where streaming comes in because it's really good at decoding internet radio stations built into Apple Music. Or if I wanted to, I can switch between iHeart, TuneIn, or maybe even have that ad-free experience. So with Bluetooth, it's so much easier to connect my phone. Once my Bluetooth is on and it's paired to the Ride Command, I start the side-by-side up and boom, it's connected instantly. As soon as I start it up, it's that easy. USB, it takes forever to load and index all the songs on my device. That's another reason why I'm using Bluetooth. It's just much easier and it takes a lot less time since my device has already been paired back in mid to late 2025. So it just makes it a lot easier to listen to music. And it's very versatile when it comes to switching different apps. It makes it a lot easier to switch music apps, whether it's SiriusXM, Spotify, or the default Apple Music. Or switching between a radio station to, a radio station to a playlist to anything within the Apple Music streaming service. Something that's not completely in my own personal library, it's there. Which is awesome. Or if I want to play a playlist that's on Spotify, I can do that. If there's a radio station I want to play off of the SiriusXM app, I can actually do that. And maybe if I wanted to go back to iHeart or TuneIn, which I'll just be playing it off of Apple Music, I'm going to ChatGPT here. For a subscriber to Apple Music, do I need the individual iHeart or TuneIn apps, or just stick with the Apple Music app for those stations? If you already subscribe to Apple Music, you can probably stick mostly with the Apple Music app, unless you specifically want features like specifically want features that only iHeart or TuneIn offer. Inside Apple Music, you already get Apple Music One, Hits, Country Chill Club, and Musica Uno. Music or many live local radio stations, created genre stations, integration with Apple CarPlay and Apple devices. Apple Music even includes some iHeart powered stations directly in the radio tab. You mainly want the separate apps if you need something specific. TuneIn is better for a huge worldwide AM FM station selection, sports, news, talk news stations, scanner emergency audio, random niche stations while camping or traveling. And iHeart is better for local US radio brands, live sports talk, popular synchronized morning shows, and podcast heavy listening. Says for my setup specifically with Apple devices, CarPlay style listening, camping trips, and already paying for Apple Music, keep things simple with just Apple Music makes a lot of sense. The Apple Music radio section is cleaner and more integrated with your library and the voice assistant. A great middle ground setup would be use Apple Music as your main app, keep TuneIn installed as a backup for local radio while traveling. You probably don't need both iHeart and TuneIn unless you're really, really into terrestrial radio or sports talk. Now I'll just stick with the Apple Music because it's got the radio stations built in. And it's really worked out in the RZR, especially today, going from a playlist to a radio station. It really works out. Like when I was going to Charleston, I was able to listen to Disney Resorts Radio off of the Apple Music app, right there wirelessly through Bluetooth. And I was, it's just the same thing with riding in the RZR. Bluetooth makes things a whole lot easier. And it performs better too because it's coming directly from the phone audio. It's just like connecting wireless headphones. You pretty much have more freedom with Bluetooth than you do with USB. Even though I personally like USB, with modern day touchscreens, like in my 2025 RZR, I can still see the artist, the track, and the album title right there on the display, which I like. But in the older radios, USB is, I guess, still limited, but Bluetooth is the way to go moving forward, especially for music streaming services and having more freedom to play whenever audio comes through the through the phone. The USB only works with my local library that's built into the music streaming app known as Apple Music. And it plays it like a iPod. It thinks those playlists and those albums and stuff is stored locally on the device, which is what makes it even more limited in a way, is having that limited control compared to Bluetooth, where you have a lot more freedom to switch apps, switch playlists, albums, artists, tracks, you name it. It's right then and there. You have a lot more freedom compared to USB functionality, where it was good back in the 2000s with the iPod because everything was stored locally. But now with smartphones and stuff, I think Bluetooth has become more and more popular due to them being more capable of streaming music wirelessly. Even with the VJB40 countdown, I can play that whole entire countdown with Bluetooth and don't have to worry about limitations with USB. Especially with the RZR. So basically, we're comparing my radio to my mom's radio and my grandpa's radio, where it's built around the same protocol, the iPod protocol. But with the RZR, it's a lot easier with USB, but when I go to the menu, you get artists, albums, and songs. That's it. It's very limited to what it can really do. That's why Bluetooth is a lot easier for smartphones when connected to the RZR. I can easily select whatever I want to select. It's good to go. I might go through my music apps through the top, radio app or the top music apps and get those apps so I can try them out in the RZR. We'll see how different it is to stream those stations from iHeart and TuneIn compared to other applications like Apple Music. If the iHeartRadio and TuneIn Radio apps suck, like it can't perform all that well, I'm just gonna stick with Apple Music. it makes it a lot easier to access those apps for completely free with my subscription to Apple Music. So we'll have to, test them out and see how they do. Because I know with iHeart and TuneIn, you do get the artist name, the track name, and the station name. And Bluetooth also does really well when playing my really long DJ mixes, because I'm a DJ. And to play my mixes in the RZR makes it a whole lot easier just to you listen to them through Bluetooth. Which is great. So I guess I'm now a bigger fan of Bluetooth than I am USB. I've had a lot of problems lately with USB, mainly in my mom's car. It's very limited, especially in the RZR. It's very limited to artists, albums, and tracks. There's no playlist option. Like there's not any advanced features, because this is from the year before my cousin Briella was born, May 2024. And hopefully they can come up with an update for that RZR that I have out there in the garage to have playlists, just everything else that is in Apple Music, or at least have the ability to add Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to an older system like the 7-inch touchscreen Ride Command. Kind of make it similar to having the on the Z4 C10. With this Ride Command, they should just implemented Apple CarPlay directly into the radio, but only time will tell if they're going to come out with something for an older Polaris RZR. Apple CarPlay will look really good on my 7-inch touchscreen, but I guess it's got its own features, and it was mainly built around offline use, and it's also meant for off-roading, because with off-road you get spotty connection, you're around a lot of trees. That is where localized content comes in. And I can play localized content from Bluetooth without having to rely on the USB connection. Even when I'm on the trails, like up in the mountains or, out in the woods, I could be in Wind Rock in Tennessee and have localized content on Apple Music, and I could never run out. Or Durhamtown in Georgia, same thing. Offline content played directly through Bluetooth. Or the place I've been to before, Riverneck Acres and Carolina Adventure World, both here in South Carolina, which I've never had any issue with cell service, but they've been kind of spotty from time to time. So I want to make sure I download a playlist offline before I even go and hit the trails. Especially when I go to West Virginia to go visit my brother and sister-in-law. And they'll meet us down there and we'll have localized content played directly through Bluetooth. So I think Bluetooth is the way to go moving forward, especially with modern day smartphones. They're pretty much acting as secondary computers, and my phone does have trouble sometimes connecting to USB now. It's been doing that for quite some time, probably since late 2025, I think. Ever since we went to South Dakota for that one Christmas. That had to have been 2024, I think. And my entire library was screwed up, so it kind of screwed everything up with USB, mainly in the car, but in the RZR, it's been fine. It pretty much acts as a digital aux cord. Same thing with the Silverado. It kind of acts the same in the RZR as it is in the Silverado. The Silverado and the RZR act pretty much the same as a digital aux cord. There's nothing special for tweaking that had to be done. With the Ford Sync system, still work around that same version as seen in 2007, 2008, 2009, and so on. With that old iPod protocol, you pretty much have to use the voice button. But in the RZR, it initializes and plays it instantly. But it'd be really hard to navigate everything through Bluetooth or through USB. So I use Bluetooth from now on. So with that said, that's pretty much it. So I guess Bluetooth is here to stay, and USB is becoming obsolete in a lot of older versions of the ride command. Bluetooth is definitely the way to go for the ride command system when it comes to smartphones. The USB was mainly for these, and these won't even work properly, these thumb drives. Which I tried them a lot, and they just said, please connect USB. It's like it won't even initialize it. It won't even try. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.